Hey, Johnny, we are back for another episode in this mini series talking about alphabet soup
Yep,
of
Alphabet
Medicare.
Soup, Medicare, Steve Ahonen, specialist.
Yeah.
Last week, A and B. Steve was phenomenal once again. We are glad to have him on this mini series. So, Steve, last week we talked about the ABs or the A and B of
Yep.
Medicare, which I recommend everybody definitely listen to that episode or watch it on YouTube. Today, Steve, we're going a little further down the alphabet. So, tell us about C, D, and whatever else we might get some time for.
LMNOP. It's one letter, LMNOP. Johnny and Michael, good to be back. Thanks, fellas. Yeah, last week's episode we talked about A and B, or the prior episode. C and D. I'm going to start actually with D, as in David, first. D is part D, which are drugs, if you will, or prescription drug plans. Specifically, again, another acronym: PDP is prescription drug plans. Part D. You have to have some drug coverage. If you don't, you get penalized. It's that simple. It is that simple.
That penalty is a lifetime. Is that right?
It is life. It is
It's
lifetime.
based on the national benchmark premium. Is that correct?
It is, and it's not a horrifically complex calculation, but it's finicky in the sense that it won't go away ever.
And it could go
That
up.
part bothers me.
My guess is the benchmark premium will go up as they get older. Is that normal?
Well, premium doesn't go down, right? I mean, for the most part, they don't.
No.
Nothing does. But it's so easily avoided, right? It's proper planning. It's communication, right? It's just understanding what I need, and more importantly, maybe when I need it. It's timing, right? So for Part D, or prescription drugs, there's two ways to attain qualified prescription drug coverage through Medicare, right? So we're presuming you already have A and B, right? We talked about that in the prior episode. You have A and B. Now you need drugs. Okay. So there's two ways to get prescription compliant prescription drug coverage. So if you just want to go out and buy a standalone prescription plan, you can do that. And for this year, there are 14 of them, anywhere from $0 per month to 40 cents per month to $3.20 per month, all the way up to $130 per month. So which prescription drug plan does somebody need? It depends on their medications. Okay, so what I do, the shopper that I am, is I get your medications, always including dosage and frequency. And for those who have watched me or know me, I'm emphatic. When I speak into my phone and I start to say dosage, it auto-completes dosage and frequency. Not a joke. I say that probably 20 times a day. Subtlety, Michael, Johnny,
Yeah.
right? So I take amlodipine. Great. What's the dosage? 10 milligrams. Once, how many times a day? Those two secondary questions, what's the dosage and what's the frequency, can have financial catastrophic impact. Just those. Well, I take this drug.
Right.
Sure you do. What? And again, generic or name brand, those are the obvious, but I need to go through those medications literally with a fine-tooth comb.
So let me say this real quick, because you're a shopper, and the analogy would be everybody that goes to the grocery store is buying different things for the needs of their family. It isn't
Correct.
like there's a list that universally we all go to the store and buy. And
Right.
you're saying the same thing with Medicare, which is why it's
Oh,
important to talk
man.
with you, is individually, when you go to the Medicare Part D shopping store,
Right.
you do, man, it's different for everybody. There's specific for that household and that person, right?
That person, yeah, husband and wife rarely are on the same medications, but even if they are, their dosage or frequency could be different. One anecdote, I know we got to kind of go fairly quickly today. I had one client who gave me his list of his wife's meds. She happened to be on morphine. Morphine's a very powerful drug, not super expensive normally. And he said she took a 5 milligram pill once a day. That's all he told me. So I went out to Medicare.gov and I shopped that. And I came back and we were getting ready to go through the process of the application. And I was verifying her medications with her, so forth. And she goes, just to let you know, that pill is a capsule. It's not a tablet. And I said, okay. I went back to Medicare.gov. Her copay went from $3 to $80. One pill a day, going from a tablet to a capsule. So, I mean, language, right? There's so much subtlety in there, but medications to me are equally important to the main health coverage in parts A and B. Absolutely, positively. We all know how common they are. We see the ads on the TV every day of names we cannot pronounce. But Part D, you need to have one way or another. What do you mean one way or another? Well, I mentioned the one way. You can go out and buy a prescription drug plan, of which there are 14. I do all the shopping. There are no costs, no fees associated with my services. I'll make recommendations in writing to you. This is what I would do. And I show you the documents that Medicare.gov provides me, how I came up with that conclusion. I'm not a genius. Sorry, if I were a genius, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. No offense. I'd be golfing somewhere or fishing somewhere.
No,
anyway.
But you're an expert at this, and that's what we really want to highlight. Is you've already explained enough in this short 4 or 5 minutes to go, oh, that makes a ton more sense. And dosage and frequency, there's a different D word there.
That's amazing, Steve. I didn't even know the detail of that. So that's incredible. So Part D has a huge impact on your retirement financial planning if you do the wrong thing.
I'll tell you what, if I may, sorry. I spend more time with my clients talking about Part D than I do A, B, or C. It's not even close. It's not even close. And the change last year from 24 to 25, when the government put a cap on senior spending of $2,000 on all medications, which again sounds like a great thing, and it is a great thing. And it's hard for me not to go into the weeds. And I know this is completely non-scripted and off the cuff. That had such a significant impact that we could spend the rest of this, not saying we should or shouldn't, talking about Part D, and then maybe even do a separate Part C. That's up to you, because I don't think I can do Part C, which is Medicare Advantage, in 4 minutes. It would be doing a disservice to the client base. It would. So guys, do you want to go do an audible here, football analogy? I mean, can we spend a couple more minutes on D and then pick it up at another episode on C?
I think we should do that. I mean, what we're trying to do, man, is service folks, give them the best information possible. So if we need to go a little further on Part D, let's do it, man.
Let's spend like 2 more minutes on Part D, which is, as I heard it, prescription. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, drugs. D for drugs.
All right.
So last year, 2024 to 2025, as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, the president says we're going to cap prescription drugs at $2,000 per senior. Prior to that, there was no cap. There was donut holes and spending gaps and catastrophic spending and all these things you don't need to know because they're all gone. Good. So when the cap was put on it, I'm kind of a smart aleck guy, as you've heard in prior podcasts. And I said, they're going to put a cap. Well, how can somebody have a cap of $2,000 when that monthly cost on their drug is $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000? Humira, Enbrel, the injectables, the biologics. These are horrifically expensive medications. How can a client spend, if you will, or be charged $5,000 or $6,000 a month, but their cap is going to be $2,000 for the year? Where's the rest of that money coming from? I don't mean to be anti-government, but I'm just a numbers guy. I'm pretty linear, pretty analytical. So I was invited to a few meetings, and I've been kicked out of equally. I've been probably kicked out as many meetings as I've been invited to, only because I'll ask questions that people don't like to answer. So I was invited to this meeting, no names, no agencies mentioned. And I said, here's what we've got. You're going to put a $2,000 cap. Thumbs up. I'm all for it. I just have a couple of quick questions, if I may. Okay. The first question is, what percentage of all seniors currently spend more than $2,000 a year in copays? And the answer was surprisingly just under 14%. That seemed actually high to me, but either way, I've been since subsequently told that the real number is closer to 5%. I can't find that in writing, so I'll go with what Medicare told me. 14%, technically 13.86%. So then I did the math and I said, okay, 14%. Does that mean that 86% of people, seniors currently, are not spending $2,000? That is correct. And then I looked at them, I said, so I guess the 86% of us are paying for the 14? They didn't like that comment very much. Yeah. I had a lot of seniors' prescriptions go up huge this year. Now, granted, they may not be hitting 2,000, but last year when their copays were 5 and 10, this year they're 20 and 30. That's a problem for a lot of my seniors, especially when they're on 8 to 10 medications. Yep. So even though their cap is 2,000 and they're not spending that. They're spending more this year than they did last year.
They might have spent 300 last year, but now they're going to spend 800. But
Yeah.
folks at 14%, yeah, they're good. But the big pool of people are kind of covering that situation is what's going on, basically.
There you go.
Which brings us all back to why we're here is the importance of planning. Planning for your retirement so that you retire at new heights encompasses a whole lot more than money, because Johnny always says money's not a retirement plan. You've got to have a great plan financially. You've got to have a great plan for healthcare. You got to have a great plan for Social Security. You got to have a great plan for Medicare. Medicare impacts so many aspects of your life. And Johnny and Steve will sit down with you and talk with you. And Steve's part of Johnny's team. So just reach out to Johnny. Schedule that conversation. Get a copy of Johnny's book. Read it, and then sit down and talk about your unique situation and how Johnny and Steve can help you navigate this maze we call Medicare and the alphabet soup that transcribes from that, right, Johnny?
Yep, retirednewheights.com. I believe Steve, it says Steve Ahonen at gmail.com as well for a personal email. Either way, you can reach out to him. It's SteveAhonen.
Look at
Gmail
you.
with that complicated last name you got, man.
Sorry, man.
It ain't as easy as Roberts, dude. I don't know that
Hey, man, I was born with it. Hey, Johnny, I want just a quick reminder. I am based in Michigan. Our offices, I think, we have contacts, if you will, or agents licensed, I think, in 47 or 48 states. But for the most part, I'm in Michigan. I work out of 3 different offices, and the one that you're seeing in the background is my home office, literally in my home, and I like to spend a lot of time there. Don't tell anybody.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Nope. Beautiful. Well, thank you.
This has been a great mini-series. I'm sure we'll probably have Steve back sometimes because, wow, we have just scratched the surface of Medicare. But understand that Medicare for retirement is super, super important. And the first stop is Johnnie Roberts, retireatnewheights.com. Go get a free copy of his book. Schedule a conversation with him. He'll bring in Steve and the team to help you retire at new heights. Johnny, thanks for another great episode. Steve, thanks for being with us and sharing just a snippet of your expertise around Medicare for retirement.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. All right. See you, Johnny.
All right.